Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta here for the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. And it is another round of our wonderful Mazda Cup here on a beautiful Monday afternoon. I am Austin Knight. I'm joined by Andy Thompson with Samuli Kimo in their production booth, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV.
Good evening, Austin. Good evening, everyone. And yeah, welcome to round number 7 here of the wonderful Road Atlanta in what has been an entertaining season so far, Austin. So if we have a quick look at the championship standings as we go into this round. So championship overall, Roberto Ferrari, absolute commanding lead at the front of the field with 1,043. Interestingly, I was just looking at his drop score, and his drop score is actually 2nd place overall. So in an extremely strong position, and if he has a good round tonight, I believe he might actually seal the championship tonight with Musumeci in the second. His teammate on his heels, 918. So if those two out front, I'd expect to see some team tactics that maybe Ferrari will let Musumeci go in front of him to try and get a little bit more of a gap over the 3rd place Arias Germantas on 864. In the amateur championship, a little bit tighter, Victor Lewandowski 771, a little bit out over Russ Fowler, but then you got Simeon Serrano in 3rd place on exactly the same points, and Damian McMullen not too far behind on 725. So that 2nd place is really up for grab in the amateur championship. So Road Atlanta, Austin, you know, an interesting track, some really interesting corners with an interesting car.
Absolutely, you know, Road Atlanta, very fantastic track, very fantastic racing facility, and, you know, the Mazdas, they just love it here. The Real Life MX-5 Cup ended their season just a last week, and they finished in the most spectacular way, going 3 wide, 2 rows deep through the final chicane on the last lap and across the line, and a amazing classic Mazda finish to add on there. The commentators were losing their minds. Sadly, it wasn't me on the commentary, but it sounded like me on the commentary, just going absolutely crazy. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of drafting on this back straight, maybe some bump drafting as well. And, teammates in qualifying, they might do the teammate thing like we're seeing right now with Ronald Moons and the 173 oh my gosh, this is the embarrassing moment. The 173, Dan Skinner pulling away on the straight to, let them have a clean pass right there and maximize that draft without decreasing their times. But yeah, absolutely, we're going to be seeing teammate tactics work here in qualifying and throughout the race as well. If we get 2 teammates side by side or maybe front to back with each other, we might be seeing a massive draft train throughout most of this race, because that draft is going to be helping keep this field together. And so the key part is definitely going to be Sector 1, where we go through Turn 1 and then all the way down the S's. And that's where most of the time is going to be gained here today.
Yeah, definitely. But it's also the biggest probably opportunity to lose the times, because that turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 is actually a treacherous part of the track as we're watching at the moment, coming down this hill, going up into the turn 5. Now, normally in a GT3 car, you wouldn't even think about touching the sand on the right, but you look at these cars, they actually go right out over them. Such a stable car, this MX-5, and very forgiving for these drivers, so I'd expect to see him coming up to that turn number 5, taking it as wide as they possibly can, just to, like you say, Austin, try and get on the back of the car for this start of the very long back straight, because that's where this race is going to be won and lost. And if you're in that draft train, you certainly don't want to be at the front of the field on that last lap.
Yeah, and especially, speaking of the front of the field, that second right-hand turn, we saw that move made by the Mazda and the Petit Le Mans down the inside right there by the Mazda Le Mans Daytona prototype, the last race for that 55 car that I had the proud privilege of having my name signed on that car, as well as a few drivers in this field actually have their name signed on that car as well. But yeah, they can make the move right there, but in these Mazdas, you do not want to be leading right there, especially going down that back straight, unless it's your teammate behind you, and they're going to get a little bit of boost from that with that bump draft. But since everybody's going to be affected by that draft, you're going to be really up for a big battle down that straight to try to keep that position. And we might be seeing some games down onto the inside, people going side by side, but it's also going to be how much draft you're getting. So we might see some people backing up before that corner and getting a good run up down that straightaway to maximize that draft potential.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's going to be the hot point coming down into turn 10 and 11, the chicane, where the people are going to overshoot it, be ambitious with the lunges, and certainly with that slipstream, it's going to be a very interesting couple of turns, turn 10. 10A and 10B. I don't know why we call it 10A and 10B and not 10 and 11, but there you go.
It's America.
It's America, isn't it?
We do things weird here, and, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, what's certainly going to be interesting tonight is the pit lane starters we've got. We've actually got Roberto Ferrari starting in the pit for race number 1, Ivan Pinocchio and Aris Germantus. So 3 of the top runners in the Pro are going to be having pit lane starts. So that's the reason why, if you're looking at the timing tower, you're wondering where them guys are, is that they are having a pit lane start for race number 1. So that's going to be interesting watching them guys come through from the back of the field.
Yeah, all those drivers down there, very fast drivers, all pros moving up through the amateur field at the back. We might be seeing some incidents with that, but the pit lane start around here compared to this standing start, they will be catching them right as they come out of the S section. So I don't think we're going to be seeing a massive lap one to crash. They'll catch up to whoever's at the back of the grid and be able to pass heading into that double right-hander. Just make sure that you leave enough room for the other car and don't try to push them off the track, which is what some amateurs were complaining about last week. But they're pros. They're fast for a reason. They gonna be starting from the back. They want to catch up to their competition, who are going to be 19 cars ahead of them. If you're starting all the way down in 20th.
I mean, we know how fast Ferrari is, and we were just obviously looking at the practice before we came live on stream, and
half a second.
Roberto Ferrari literally came in within 2 laps, was in first place, half a second ahead of second place Simonek, who had done 28 laps, and I was just like, wow. I mean, that has got to be so demoralising if you've done that many laps. Some guy just comes in, just beats it by nearly half a second, and says, "Thank you very much. I'll just start in the pits." I mean, wow.
It is a like how the heck moment, and we were joking as well. If Roberto Ferrari retires from iRacing or retires from this series, it doesn't race in another ARL Mazda Cup, we will be renaming. We will be making a Roberto Ferrari award for just the most consistent finishing, which is, for Ferraris, it's first. There's a second place somewhere, and then first again. It's just the perfect season right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is certainly going to be a challenge for him starting at the back of the grid. I mean, the reverse grid for race number 2 is P12. So he's got an opportunity. He'll certainly probably get up into that realms, I would have thought, if not higher. And then obviously race number 3 tonight is a 10-place reverse grid.
Ooh, that's going to be spicy. Race 3, I think as well, it's going to be it's going to be very interesting to watch, especially that race start, because we've seen race 3s where they've had pretty good race starts, pretty clean, but race 3, those are usually the ones with the amateurs getting up there onto that front grid. Maybe the first 4 spots, and then there's a bunch of pros behind them. That one might get a little bit chaotic, and we might see some people taking alternative lines like Brahma's taking right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that will be the case there. I mean, that is a prime spot for that sort of mistake, and certainly when you got the pressure of an all-in pros drivers behind you.
We saw it at Alton Park.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think you were one of them, actually, weren't you, mate?
Yes, I was. It took 12 cars off the track. Very fun moment.
Yeah, definitely. But we're coming towards the end of the qualifier now, only 5 seconds. Paul Hayden is your current pole sitter. Paolo Simonek in second, and Rafael Jazazak in third. So, yeah, some fast drivers at the front of this field for the start of the first race.
Yeah, here we go. Standing start here at lovely Road Atlanta. The back of the grid is going to be starting sideways a little bit. They are going to be starting down the hill. So Paul Hayden is currently sitting in pole position. They're going to be starting right next to Pavel Simonek. Rafael Drasquez right behind them in third place. Russ Fowler, Jens Goosens, Thomas Sorensen, Damian McMullen, Enrico Musumeci, Dan Skinner, Steve Cox in 10th place, followed by Ronald Moods, Nathan Healy in 12th. Victor Lewandowski lines up at 13th, followed by Tony Pierman, Jay Walsh, Ronald Varenchek to Andrew Brahma, Simone Serrano, and Panhydrate at the end of the qualified cars. Starting from the pit lane, Roberto Ferrari, Andres Numantis, Ivan Pinocchio, and Yves Frederick at the back of our 23-car grid. And a 23-car grid standing start here at Road Atlanta. Penultimate round in the championship.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, interesting.
Not the penultimate round. Sorry.
No, it's not. We've got 2 more rounds
Hockenheim,
left.
and then Laguna Seca.
Then Laguna Seca. You're getting ahead of yourself there.
I always get ahead of myself in this series. It gets exciting, and I just like...
No. What is good in this race, though, is we got a few of the amateurs further up the field in 4th and 5th.
Yes!
Russ Fowler and Jens Goosens.
Yeah, Fowler and Goosens really had an amazing qualifying session. The draft, they maximized the draft. They probably locked onto the back of one of the pros and, let them carry them. Might have provided a little bit of a bump draft on the straightaway. You don't want to get a 0x there, or else you invalidate your lap. But yeah, we're all lined up on the grid. 15 seconds till we go green.
Yeah, definitely, and it should be quite good for the guys. Goosens very quick in the last round as well, so expect to see him trying to consolidate his positions. But very mixed in the AMs and pros within this race one, which will make race 2 interesting.
All right, well, here we go. Race 1 of 3, and it's a false start by Paul Hayden. He jumps off the line, and it's green, 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 and this is going to be very interesting as well. Paul Hayden pulling over to the right of the field, and I think he's just going to let everybody by. He knows he has that false start penalty, so he's just going to let as much cars behind and not hold them up, or he's going to let his teammates by and then try to hold everyone else up as they race into turn 1.
Yeah, I think obviously we were discussing with another commentator about that. If you do have that false start, and naturally you just stop the car and start on the light. But if you've had a false start, you might as well just go, because at the end of the day, you've got a penalty. Yeah, gonna minimise your time in the pit lane, and you're getting yourself out nice and clean. But overall, a very clean start from all the drivers there. We've got Power Simonek taking the first place, Drazazak in second. Paul Hayden still in third, but he's going to have to do a drive-through for that jump start. But pretty much in a big long line, it's when we get into the back straight as we see Damien McMullen trying to get up on the inside here of Musumeci there. Very ambitious on the first lap, but pushing. It's good to see the AMs pushing the pros to the limits, but this is where it's going to get interesting now, is where we're going on to the back straight. Certainly this first time, because the tyres are going to be cold, the brakes are not going to be hot. You know, who's going to make that big mistake trying to get that lunge down the inside in this big, long draft train that we're seeing at the moment?
I see 2 cars side by side in the background. That's Jay Walsh side by side with Tony Pierman. Heading into turns 10A, 10B. They almost make a contact back there, but first time heading into that chicane. We got a few cars looking up the inside. That's 237. Looking up onto the inside of Ronald Moons. That's Steve Cox. And they both kept their positions from the start. And now Paul Hayden needs to dive into the pit lane. And there it goes. The pit lane's very sudden around here. And I have seen people absolutely miss it before. But yeah, first lap already. Simonex and Drasquez with Hayden pushing them as well, allowing them to get some room from Fowler and Goosens, the 2 AMs now leading the train, as these 2 are currently in the lead. They're going side by side off the exit. Look at this. Rafael trying to hold it around the inside line of cements. Gets onto the grass and down to the inside. Rafael up into the lead. Beautiful switchback move right there. Very opportunistic, and he got that move sorted. Well, that did slow them down. Here comes Fowler right behind on the charge.
Yeah, there comes Simonek straight away, right on the back of Drazazak. That was a great move coming down. Very brave move coming down there, because there's normally only one line coming down that mountain section, but in these cars a little bit slower than like your normal GT3 GTEs. But Simonek is now right on the back bumper of Drazazak, so we'll have this big long slipstream down the straight. So I'd expect him to try and make a move, or certainly poke his nose out to say, I'm here, as you can see here.
No. They're going to build that gap. They're going to get the boop right there. Bump draft in here on the back straight. Welcome to America. But yeah.
In the NASCARs.
Yeah, this ain't NASCAR. This is Mazda car, which needs to be a new series. Mazda's on ovals. All right, new series comes to ARL. I will fund that series.
No, you might actually be right there. Simonek may be playing a really game as we see.
Oh, that's layup. Oh, Pan got into the back of the 214. Right there. Pan, I think, might have missed the breaking point. Wasn't expecting the 214 to get onto the brakes right there. Pan is also racing this race for the first time in VR as well. They just reconfigured their rig to just be a VR-only rig. So, you know, it's going to be a very big learning curve for them here today. But, you know, he was really excited to try iRacing out of VR.
Wonder how that's going for him.
Probably getting motion sickness.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But as we see here, Goosens and Fowler currently the top AMs in 3rd and 4th place overall, fighting out between themselves and actually getting a little bit of gap. Got Musumeci right on the back of Fowler, but then there's a bit of a gap over Musumeci to Sorensen. So these 2 amateur drivers at the front, Goosens and Fowler, are having a own little ding-dong together. Oh yeah, totally. You know, and it's great to see that the amateurs are mixing up very much with the pros. So we've seen the power of this slipstream down here. It'd be interesting to see if they are working together. As we see, no, Russ Fowler just poking his nose out, trying to take the inside here into turn number 10A, just to try and get that 3rd place position. So see if he can get the move down here. Well,
I think the teamwork is going to go around. We're going to go 3 wide. That's a look from Musumeci. We're going to go side by side heading into turn 10. A and B still side by side off the exit. That's going to bring up a big gap to the cars in front of them now, but Musumeci on the back of him, really looking to get it past. We're going to go almost 3 wide again, and he hit a turn 1. He is hunting these two down, wanting to get past like an angry trucker on a Texas highway, and off goes Fowler. And Musumeci takes 3rd place around the outside. Beautiful move.
I mean, absolutely wrong line there by Russ Fowler, and unfortunately coming from fighting for 3rd place all the way back down to 8th place down behind Damien McMullen in front of him. So those two deciding to fight coming into turn 10A, turn B is obviously given Musumeci the emphasis to get past both of them, and compromised really the gap that they had got over Sorensen as well. So it all sort of unravelled there for the amateur drivers. Probably a little bit of inexperience there to say, right, okay, I'm going to fight you now, rather than saying, let's work together and keep this lap and keep this lead. But, you know, at the end of the day, you've got that opportunity in front of you, you're going to take it. And
racing drivers are going to race.
Oh, yes, they are.
Oh, yeah. You know, you can stay behind somebody for an entire race, just, you know, lock up right there, bump drafts with each other. You know, it looked like they were doing that throughout the entire race, and then one of them feels like, I'm faster than you, let me by, and we'll see how this works out. But, you know, sometimes you just can't communicate with another driver right now. And so we see Musumeci down the inside, and Goossens is stuck on the outside right there. And he's kind of in a pro sandwich situation right there. I think Sorensen might feel like, I'm a pro, get out of my way. But, you know, if he's working together and not really pulling any fighting moves, he shouldn't really be feeling that attack. And that's what Musumeci really did. When he saw that opportunity, they started fighting. He goes, oh, they're going to start holding me up, and that's when he went for that move.
Yeah, definitely, and it was obviously this corner here, turn number 1, that both the amateur drivers got a little bit bent out of shape, and Musumeci took the optimal racing line and managed to pass the two. Obviously, you saw Russ Fowler go off on the grass on the left-hand side, but at the moment, you got Jens Goossens flying the flag for the amateurs in 4th place, but under a lot of pressure from Sorensen, and Skinner not that far behind him. But then you have McMullen, Fowler, Cox, so a big string of amateur drivers that are all still within the shot. Whoa! What was that?
Steve Cox is in the wall. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, he's missing he's just missing a mirror. You know, I don't think it's on the farther side of the car, so unless you're in VR, you don't really use that one right there. But, whoa, Stevie, how are you not dead?
All I saw.
Oh, Ferrari makes contact. No, it's Pyramid making contact with Nathan Healy.
Oh, wow. I mean, I don't know if we can get a replay of that, Scott. The pass or the crash there that we had of Steve Cox, because all I saw was a car just flying in the picture behind. So
well, here's first Tony Pyramid versus Healy. That's Victor Lewandowski missing the breaking point, going on to the outside, then Healy on the inside, and oh my gosh, Healy and Pyramid on the inside of Healy, who's already on the inside and not really on the racing line. And both of them in that gray area being very aggressive, and that's 2 cars making massive contact. I think all the pointers are going to be pointing at Tony Pyramid for being just a little bit too aggressive right there. He might be saying, he cut me off. I was beside him, but, you know, that part of the track is, you got to be very, what's the word? Very conservative of how you attack right there. Because there's a giant straight coming up, draft off him, and slingshot heading into turn 10. We ride on board Dan Skinner at the back of this 4-car train, currently sitting in 6th place overall, 5th place, top 5 of the pros. And Dan, it's now a 2 OTR race with him and Ferrari. Nope, Dan Skinner and Ferrari are not teammates.
No, they are certainly not. It's Musumeci as Ferrari's teammates, but
yes.
Ferrari making moves up the grid. He's already in P11 for 9 minutes left. Only another 6 minutes left of this race at the moment. Dan Skinner seems to be coming on a lot of form at the moment. Done really well on the last outing.
Yeah, look what's happening. McMullen to Fowler going. It looks like Fowler was having a little bit look on McMullen right there. Here he goes again, looking down to the inside. He's going to try. He feels like he's faster, but you know, McMullen has that draft, and now McMullen pushing Fowler down to the inside, saying, "Buddy, you are not close to me. Stay in your lane. Just push me and just try to race me right there." Putting it. Oh my gosh.
Wide. Oh.
Somebody order a 3-wide sandwich because we're getting one right there. Big send up to the inside by Evan Pinocchio. Victor Lewandowski on that outside line, not fighting that one at all. And then there's Yamantis and Lewandowski going side by side. Jay Walsh was back there, and Walsh was looking a little bit racy as well. Walsh and Braum are going side by side as we go back to our fight for the lead. Change for the lead as Draskas has lost it going through turn 1. And I think Draskas, I think he let him by. I
don't know. I think he might went a little bit wide here and actually got on the grass.
This might have been strategy. This might have been strategy for Rafael. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
That was not strategy. If it was, very good.
He disguised it really well, but that puts Rafael in a very good spot. These two are fighting for the lead. You got 5 minutes left in this race. At this point, race with the guy you're going to be trying to overtake right there. Get a good run up, test your run up right here in the draft, and see on how far ahead that you can get. Let him by again and be in that right spot and slipstream by on that last lap. And that's his game plan right now. It wasn't the game plan that he was going for, as I'm predicting, but you can see he's already up in that bumper right there. And he knows that if he's about 3/10 back at the end of the straight, he's going to have enough slipstream to really slingshot ahead. So right now, he's just going to be applying pressure and staying with him. And, wait to the end of the race. As behind him, it's an absolute slobber knocker of a race. So Goosen's up into 3rd place, down to the inside of Musumeci. And Sorensen and Musumeci going side by side heading into the final corner.
Yeah, it's all the way down for that 3rd place, from 3rd all the way down to 9th, all right on top of each other, all with an opportunity to get that last podium position. But the Simonek and Jazazak in front are just pulling out, so certainly the battle for 3rd is going to come from this group. But as at the moment, though, it's really starting to heat up, going 2 by 2 wide, as we see Damien McMullen trying to take the inside line, making opportunities of people just trying to push it a little bit too hard. And you're going to see that.
Oh, there's contact back there. Not enough space left by McMullen, and Fowler got off the track right there. A little bit of contact made between them. They kept their car straight. It's easy to bump and bang these Mazdas just a little bit. As long as the light tap, if you slam into the side of somebody and they're turning in, you can pick up a suspension damage right there. But these two are very racy with each other, and that's just a racing incident right there.
They're fighting for, obviously, the 2nd place currently in the Amateur Championship are McMullen and Fowler there in 7th.
Yeah, Goosen's at the front. Yeah, Goosen's at the front of this train, so, they still can go for the win here because Goosen's going to get swarmed very soon. He's got a big gap to the car behind. Here comes Sorensen. Are we going to see Sorensen look up onto the inside, looking behind them? Musumeci and Skinner going side by side.
Yeah, coming down into turn.
Here comes Sorensen.
2 by 2 wide coming in. Sorensen on the inside, managing to take Goosen's there quite comfortably, and Musumeci taking.
Oh, contact Fowler! Oh. Fowler's around. He made contact heading into that corner with McMullen. McMullen and Fowler, they were racing heading into that corner, and that's going to be horrible for Russ Fowler. McMullen also picking up a little damage. He got passed by Moons right there, but that shows the patience of the pros versus aggressiveness of the AMs. That some people like to point out, mainly me, because I do not like driving aggressively. And, that's what aggressive driving will happen. And speaking of aggressive driving, getting into the back. Oh, how did he save that?
That was an amazing save for Goosen's.
Goosen somehow saved that after getting hit in the back by Dan Skinner, who had an amazing run around the outside of Musumeci heading into turn 3.
That's some amazing defensive driving there from Goosen's. I mean, obviously, he must have seen that really late, hit the core. It's nearly sideways. You can see the smoke coming from the rear tyres as he was trying to save it, and manages to save it. And best of all, he doesn't actually lose the position to Skinner. So, great driving here from Goosen's, the top amateur in 4th place. But, the bad thing for Fowler, he was up there quite hard fighting for 7th and 8th with McMullen. But the problem is now he's out of these reverse grid spots, as we see a bit of bump draft in here. Probably, they're going to have
last chance for it. Last chance to really test it out. And that was Rafael looking up the inside right there, just trying to fake out Simonek, trying to force a mistake. It's time to go race it here if you're Rafael. This is last lap opportunity. White flag in the air for race number 1 out of 3 here at Road Atlanta. here
Really?
in the ARL Mazda Cup. You know, I get them confused so much because I feel like this is a much better track than Road America. I'm going to get shot for saying that, but I will stand on my grave saying that right there. Skinner and Sorensen going side by side. And a little bit of checkup on the Apex right there, but this 4-car train. 3 pros, 1 amateur involved in it. You know, if I was Goosens, I would let Musumeci pass right here, you know, and not have a extremely aggressive Italian behind me, and let him race for that 3rd spot right there.
I don't know, because Goosens he's very
He's
quick,
had pace.
you know?
He's had pace today, so
Definitely
you know he can do whatever he wants.
mean,
And I feel like he's going to race them. I feel like he's going to race them. He doesn't care if you're a pro or an AM. He's going to go racing. Speaking of racing, let's go back to our fight for the lead as they're on the back straight. And look at that gap. There's a gap of about half a second. Is that a little bit too much for Rafal? He's closing it down. It's now down to 4 tenths between them. He's closing up. 3 tenths now. I think he's left a little bit too much. He's left a little bit too much. He's going to be too far away, but he's going to look down the inside. It's going to be a big send. No, he does not. He's going to let him by. He's going to try to get him off the exit right here. He missed his opportunity on the straight. Going to try to get him off the exit. He's right up there with him. He's going to go try to around the outside, but it's blocked on the inside. Now he's going to be forced around the outside. It's going to be side by side around the foul. Going to force him all the way to the curve, side by side across the line. And it's going to be Pavel taking that race number 1 by 0.04 of a second. Wow, and there's a massive crash, and Jens Goosens involved right there, and that puts McMullen to take the amateur win, and that is so unfortunate for Jens. You know, I said he should have probably taken it easy. He might have been involved with a pro, getting a little bit too aggressive. Let's take a replay to see what happened right there. See Jens on the outside and the, you know, aggressiveness on the inside, side by side. He's letting everybody on the inside. You know, he had to get on the brakes or there was contact already on the straight. Getting off into the grass, the 117. He's riding that grass like he was riding a tidal wave. And, oh, he was just rear-ended right there.
And again.
Oh, no, he's absolutely taken out of that race by the 169.
Shocking for him. You know, he was driving that really well.
And then there's...
ooh, that was close.
That was Romantis on the exit. You know, something happened right here, but Jens Goosens, you feel for him right there. He was having a drive of a century right there. But, you know, Damon McMullen, surprise, surprise, first place for him. And Steve Cox taking 2nd place in the amateur champs. He absolutely loves this place.
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, obviously gifted the am there, but, you know, you got to be in it to win it at the end of the day. And
absolutely.
Certainly on that last lap coming down into that last turn 10, 11, and obviously the first race is obviously the conservative one. You know, I'm not even going to call it in the 2nd and 3rd race what's going to happen coming down into that corner into the last turn of the dice there.
Well, yeah, we got 4 pros in the top 10. It's going to be Jay Walsh starting up on pole position with Victor Lewandowski right beside him. We're going to see on how they're going to fare with Yamantis and Pinocchio starting behind them. And then it's Cox and McMullen. They're going to be fighting around again for their spot. And, you know, behind them it's Ferrari, Musumeci, Skinner, Sorensen, Draskes, you know, behind them, Simonek and Moons. And, you know, Moons has got to be probably going to be a little bit more careful. And then behind them it's Serrano, Fowler, Vaynerchuk, Brava, Healy, Hayden, Frederick, and Pan just now gets onto the grid. Gooses and Tony Pierman at the end of our 23-car grid. It's race number 2, 15 minutes on the clock, and it's time to go racing. And we got another false start in the background, but we're green for race number 2.
A great start there from Walsh and Lewandowski managing to get well. Manchas just pulling up onto the back of Walsh there, so should get in front of Lewandowski coming around to turn 1. Lewandowski just taking it nice and wide, keeping out of the way of these fast pros behind. So you see Jamantis there and Pinocchio just behind him following in.
Oh, we're 3 wide going through turn 1. In the background, heading into turn 3, Lewandowski goes wide. Jay Walsh misses the corner. Lewandowski misses the corner as well. Lewandowski is spinning and he gets onto the escape road right there. Both of them getting onto the club circuit layout and keeping up. That's a massive rear end into Ronald Moose right in front of Jay Walsh behind him. It looks like Dan Skinner might have. No, that's Hayden around Fowler's in the wall. Oh my gosh, chaos in the back and Pan was in the middle of all that, and I think Pan somehow made it through there.
I mean, this is where we start seeing the guys getting a little bit more adventurous. Certainly, as we saw there coming down the hill down turn 3 and 4. You know, it's so easy to do. You get one slight incident and it just ricochets through the whole field because you're all that close coming off the start-finish line that you're literally right on top of each other. One incident is just going to cause a big pile-up, but most of the drivers managed to get through there. But we can see here Pinocchio managing to get past Germantus here on the first lap coming down into turn number 10.
Oh, behind the fight for the AM, Lee McMullen to Cox to a side, and that was Ferrari looking on the outside into the grass right there. A little switch up by Ferrari, hopping over the curb right there, getting onto the inside and getting a great run. He's getting a little push help by Musumeci right there. Musumeci giving Ferrari a little bit of a bump draft heading into the lead of this pack. Both of them staying onto the inside. Both the ends almost going off the track. You know, you always got to leave the space, but you know, for these guys, they're just trying to get past, and I think everyone's just abusing the track limits right there, going as wide as they can without losing control of their car. But you know, all the pros getting past Cox and McMullen right now in the fight for the amateur championship lead. But yeah, what happened on lap 1 was just people checking up for Walsh and Lewandowski getting off the track right there. And, you know, some drivers not really seeing the incident and getting a little bit too aggressive and, quote, missing the memo of everyone checking up and, you know, get a little rear end highway accident action right there. And,
look where Walsh is now. He's back in the pits, started off on pole on this, got it a bit wrong with Lewandowski.
The second contact. The contact when he, speaking of contact, massive rear end right there. There was a yellow flag as one of the cars in front of him went wide. The 299 has no right rear wheel. It's gone. It's like the suspension was just completely crumpled right there. And that's David McMullen out of this race.
Oh, wow. It's all carnage happening here in race number 2, and we're only into the second lap, not even a full lap down. So,
well, I did make the prediction that race 2 and 3 are going to be the carnage rounds. I don't think we're going to even be seeing race number 3 at this point.
Oh, well, but we got our current AM leader of the amateurs,
Steve Cox.
in 6th place. A couple of places ahead of Sereno in 10th and Lewandowski in 11th. Obviously, Lewandowski started second on the grid, had a bit of a terrible thing, followed Jay Walsh onto the grass, but managing to save his. But, you know, we've got a big train of pros out the front. Pinocchio, Germantus, Ferrari managing to get up to third place. Musumeci, Skinner, and Drozigzak, and then we've got this big battle here.
Lewandowski. Looked up the inside, the move wasn't there, he checked up, and now off the track goes the 217 of Ronald. You know, Ronald, innocent party right there. You know, he's trying to follow Lewandowski right there. Lewandowski checked up. He wasn't going to commit into that move, and, you know, this is the thing that I was saying at the start of this race, as Pinocchio in the fight for the lead. It's a 4-car fight for the lead. Germantus hit his car right there in the back so well that I didn't see it from my camera view. But the top 4 pulling away from Skinner, Jazzcat, Simonet, Cox, and Sorensen. But yeah, the top 4 really locked in together right here. But yeah, what I was saying with the AMs, they're not really playing by the hey, they're going for the long game right here. You know, we race together. We wait for the right opportunity when we get the draft, and then we go for it. And, you know, speaking of going for it, hey, 3-wide action. Do you like 3-wide action? We might go 4-wide action because the 117 is looking for the opportunity right here. 3-wide, heading into turn 10. Down to the inside goes Ferrari. Up into the lead. What a move by Roberto Ferrari. And now we're going to be seeing that half-a-second advantage to try to pull away from the draft that he pulled off in the 1-2 lap that he had in practice. But Ferrari, he definitely knows he's the fastest car around here. He just needs to try to clear that draft within 10 minutes before that final line. But look at Germantus buried in that bumper. He knows Ferrari's fast, and he's going to try to do everything he can to, you know, help him with that time.
I mean, look at that, where Pinocchio is. Pinocchio was at the front of this grid going down into turn 10, and now he's down into P number 4. I mean, it just shows you the power of that slipstream coming down there. There's an obstacle course of cones there out on the track, so the marshals need to get out and clear that out. But
yeah,
you know,
last I know, the SCCA is not in town, and the autocross event is not here. And you know, everyone, oh man, that line looked like the ARL Super Truck Series. Everyone jumping across the line right there.
certainly was. But you know what would be interesting? Obviously, we saw Ferrari leading in Bathurst on race 1 and 2, you know, and leading it down into the last, like pretty much the same sort of scenario we've got at the moment. So I wonder if he's learnt from that thing, either to try and break that slipstream, or basically not be in first place for that last lap, because I think he'll kick himself again if he loses it down this very long back straight coming down into turn number 10. So Roberto Ferrari only just ahead of Gimantis, and I think it's going to be extremely hard to try and get it.
No, here comes Gimantis.
Yeah, going on the outside. So Ferrari maybe just letting them pass and just trying to stick into the middle part. He's got his teammate behind him, Musumeci, who's holding up Pinocchio quite well at the moment. So he doesn't really need to be pushing, does Ferrari at the front, because it's going to be very difficult to break that slipstream around here in Road Atlanta.
Yeah, like I said, the strategy is about 3/10, 4/10 to get that money opportunity for that last lap pass. And here comes Pinocchio down to the inside of Musumeci, and Musumeci holding around the. Ooh, he slots that car in like he was a. Oh my God, slotted in like he was playing a slot machine right there. Pinocchio, what a pass! Block pass, as some might call that.
Yeah, Pinocchio, you know, you give him that little sniff of an opportunity and he will take it, you know. And sometimes it pays off for him and sometimes it doesn't, but he will always take that opportunity if you give him that. So obviously the drivers just in front of him need to be aware of that these two are going to be fighting it out. Pinocchio will be getting onto the back of him, and if he sniffs an opportunity, I'll expect him to make that optimistic dive. Probably down into turn 10A really is probably a prime opportunity for Pinocchio to try and make a move, but we're looking on board here with Justice out in 5th place with Simonek.
You know, these two are storming right now. You know, if the front four keep fighting like this, Rafael and Pavel might catch them and make this a 6-car fight for the lead, because Pavel, last lap, was the fastest lap of the race, well, 1:37.13. And, you know, they are working together. They're not fighting each other. They're talking with each other. They know that they have to catch these guys. They're having fun up there. They're fighting. They're slowing each other down. And so, you know, you work together and you go fast. They might make a mistake. You might get a few freebie here and there. But to really maximize your opportunity, let them fight. You catch up to them and you keep pushing on, and you will eventually catch up to them. Because look at this. They're fighting for second place right here, heading into turn 1. That's going to slow the group down. That's Musumeci on Pinocchio. Musumeci trying to do the same thing on Pinocchio. He makes it happen. You can do it. I can do it better than you. Pretty much going on right there. Musumeci with that move is allowing Ferrari to pull away from these guys.
Yeah, definitely got the 3 Italians out front, Ferrari, Musumeci, Pinocchio. Obviously the top 2 are in the same team. Pinocchio is in Furious Racing Team, so not in the same team as the Pro Drive Esports guys in 1st and 2nd. But exactly like you say, you know, these guys are fighting it out, and it's given Justicek and Simonek an opportunity. There's still about 2 seconds to gap, but we can see
1.5.
Yeah, we can
they're
see
1.5 to Yamantis.
Yeah,
so they're in the draft. Yamantis and Drasquez are in the draft of each other. Pinocchio way off track right there. That's going to be a big roadblock for Yamantis. Yamantis is going to have to go for that move, or maybe a bump draft it. He's going to go for the move and leave him out to dry. And, you know, those two behind him still working together. And another fastest lap by Pavel, 1:36.91. And they are still working together. They want to know that they're in the draft, but right ahead of them is, you know, that draft is breaking up for first place. And they're going to have to get a little bit aggressive as Yamantis really nails that corner to get right back onto the back end of Musumeci.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things to notice further down the field is Jen Goosens is having a storming race. Obviously, we saw him second to last on the grid. He's up 12 places and is currently sat in the pole position for race number 3. And I think after the escapades of the first race, I think he actually probably does deserve to be on that pole position for race 3. But at the moment, giving himself the best
He wants that win. He wants that redemption story. You know, he's going to try to chase down Steve Cox. And Steve is off in no man's land, really. He's got Sorensen ahead of him, but Sorensen just a little bit. Oh, Sorensen's actually up off the track, and so is Steve Cox. Steve Cox is way wide off the track. Oh, off the race line at least, but he loses a lot of time. And here, Goosens, he senses it. He saw all that, and here comes Jens. Jens on a big charge, trying to steal, take back first place, but look who's behind him, Serrano. He's in that draft right there. Tony Pierman's back there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, that was a prime example of tunnel vision. You just saw Sorensen go off in front, and Steve Cox just followed the line that he took, going there and following the pro driver. So it's a tunnel vision there, but what that has done is made this amateur battle now all the hot in the last 4 minutes. So I'd expect Cousins to get on the back of Cox and Paul Serrano, so it should be a free car. But we're back to the front of this grid at the moment with Semechi's pushing his teammates to the limit. I mean, if on team orders, if you're looking at team orders, you would have thought that Ferrari might let Musumeci through just so he could secure that second place in the championship. But I think Ferrari just wants to get top place in every single round.
Yeah, the block pass for third place by Pinocchio on Yamantis. You know, the teams are working together now, and these two, they aren't teammates, and they're really charging. Yamantis being cheered on the chat right there, trying to catch up and pass Pinocchio, but Pinocchio getting really aggressive. And hey, look behind him. Rafael's behind them. Simonek's behind them now, and they are certainly charging. They're going to be right there in this fight. It's a 6-car train for the lead of this race, and I feel like we got a classic on our hands right here in the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. As this is not only the Mazda Cup, this is being entitled the Rallycross around the stage, because I think that's the third time we've seen Pinocchio get airborne coming out of that corner.
That was full-blown airborne, 4 wheels off there coming out of turn number 5. I mean, that's just how good these cars are going around, and you can actually get it right off grass and still say it as we see Jay Walsh
just letting it go. Do the smart thing, Jay. Let them by.
Yeah, oh man.
He's keeping it full throttle, and he feels like everyone's going to be in that draft right there. He pulled off to the right, and yep, there he goes. He actually went on to the short track layout, and we saw that used in the V series, the final round for them. But yeah, pros got all the way through there. Jay didn't hold any of them up at all, as you know that time by was a little bit less chaotic. You know, we got 1 minute and 47 seconds left right there. So we got 2 laps to go here in Road Atlanta. I almost said it again.
Well, we've got that coming up in other series, man. I'm sure you can enjoy yourself there. As,
like the race series broadcasted by us tomorrow night.
There you go. There you go.
That I'm racing in, so that's why it's stuck in my head.
Yeah, I think they're just lining each other up now for the last couple of
oh yeah, it's strategy. It's all strategy right now, and you can see they're all just following the... This is crazy. I have never seen such wild racing, and the fastest car is currently at the back of this train, Pavel, another 136.7. And Rafael went faster with a 136.66, you know, but he did go off track right there, so it was a little bit naughty. But right now, it's just everyone's positioning for them. They're going to be more aggressive in the back than they are at the front. Look where Pinocchio's placing. He's really in that sweet spot right now, but he sees Ferrari Musumeci. They're going to be working together. And I feel like if they feel like they're clear, they're going to go try to make that move. And look, you see Musumeci looking down the inside, and oh, that was a block opportunity. But look at Rafael round the outside for 4th place. It was so focused on the move ahead that you didn't even notice, and you didn't even notice that Ferrari went off the track right there, off the exit. Here comes Musumeci right there back onto his teammate, and now it's the fight with the top 3 and the bottom 3 of the pros. It's so odd saying that because they're all in the top 6 right now, but in this pack, there's a top 3 and bottom 3, and Musumeci and Ferrari side by side heading into turn 1, and with a nice block pass, slinging it into there, Pinocchio up in a 2nd place, but Ferrari on the swim. Here comes Rafael out of nowhere, the 179 trying to hold around the outside of Ferrari. Ferrari taking the rally cross line, jumping over the jump onto the apex right now. White flag in the air. Completely forgot to say that right there. As they head down to the S's for the one last time here in race number 2. They're bumping and banging in the background right there as Musumeci pulling away. Pinocchio, Ferrari in the fight for 2nd place. Musumeci has a 1 second gap to all of them right there. There's a big fight behind Pinocchio getting airborne right now as Ferrari's right onto the bumper right here. And here we go. Round to the outside. Ferrari trying to set him up self for a good switchback comeback opportunity, but look at Rafael. Rafael's all lined up right there. He wants to try to get that second spot, maybe for the lead if Musumeci makes a mistake, but Musumeci with no draft at all. He's got about... Yeah, he's 1.2 seconds ahead of this group. He's not going to be caught by any of them as they're swarming out to the inside and the outside of Pinocchio. Pinocchio defending onto the inside. They go on to the inside, and the inside's Rafael. Rafael and Ferrari swarming Pinocchio right there. And it's Ferrari around the outside, currently having the lead around the inside of the bend. Hey, you like 3 wide? How about 4 wide? Look at the 123 of Simonek trying to go around the outside. Ferrari gets the move made on the straight. They make contact in the background. Simonek, Pinocchio make contact with Yumantis. Yumantis unfortunately picking up straight line contact right there on the front, but it's Musumeci taking the race win of race number 2. Roberto Ferrari right behind his teammate. Well played right there. And Rafael finishes in 3rd. And Simonek in 4th. Yumantis crashes across the line. And Pinocchio drags his car off in 6th place. And Jens Goosens rises like a phoenix. Heartbreak in race number 1. Glory in race number 2. Takes the amateur race victory and a well-deserved 1st place and 9th place after a horrible race finish. Up 13 spots, the biggest mover of race number 2. Wow. Oh my god. Can you tell I'm out of breath and I'm loving it? Oh, wow. I think me and Andy are both speechless after that race, are we? Andrew, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm just, whew. That was an entertaining end. Obviously, the typical where we said coming down in the back straight into turn number 10, 2x2 wide, going down to 3x2, and yeah. Somebody was going to come off worse. Unfortunately, it was Pinocchio, but luckily, even with a front right that was clearly pointing in a different direction than the rest of the tyres, still manages to come over the line. So. Not all bad news there for Pinocchio, because it could have done a Jen Goosens from the first race and be out. So at least he managed to keep and secure his place. But wow, what a finish there to race number 2. And we've still got one more race of the evening to go.
Yeah, we certainly do. And I'm excited. Here's race 2 results. And it is Musumeci who, with that crazy last lap, earned that. He got into the lead. That's what you also go for when you have the you go for that move, and it worked out. He got to the lead. Then everybody else behind him started fighting for 2nd place, and Roberto Ferrari takes the Pro Drive 1-2 right there. Rafael Drascaz takes 3rd, followed by Pavel Simonek, Yumantis, Pinocchio, Dan Skinner, Thomas Sorensen, Jens Goosens takes the AM win. Followed by Steve Cox, Tony Pierman, Simone Serrano, Victor Lewandowski, Paul Hayden, Ronald Verichek, Andrew Brava, Russ Fowler, Vez Frederick, Panhydrate, and Damien McMullen, Jay Walsh, Nathan Healy, and Ronald Moons at the end of our 23-car grid. Oh my goodness, I need a big break, and I'm pretty sure everybody needs a little bit of a break. Race 3 will be with us after this short break.
Virtual Racing was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
And welcome back to the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup here at Road Atlanta, as we are, calming down still after a wild race number 2 finish that sort of turned into an absolute crazy battle and a little bit of an auctioneer speak at the end of it. But it was certainly fantastic. Race number 3 is certainly going to, well, I could pretty much say race number 3. We saw race number 2, how excited that was. We saw race number 1 get a little bit run away with that situation with a 2-car battle. We had a 6-car battle. Predictions for race number 3. 8 cars? Maybe 10?
Yeah, I'd go with that, why not? It's either that or it's going to be complete carnage going down the hill on the first one. We always see, the level and the optimistic lunges with the guys as we go through the races in each one of the series. 1's pretty tame, 2 they get in there, and 3 they just go balls out and just basically just go error. So hopefully the racing will be really good. We've had some really good racing, like we saw 2-car wide and then the 6 cars there in race number 2. So looking forward to what race 3 has to offer.
It certainly is looking like a good race here. We got 2 AMs on the front row, Cox and Goosens. I believe it's Steve Cox, the second place of Goosens, and the lead. They're going to be side by side off the line. And, we're 2 for 2 on false starts here today. We had our pole sitter get the false start immediately. And then it was a car in the background in race number 2 that took the false start. So it's feature race time, and here is your starting order for our final race of the day. Steve Cox and Jens Goosens, 1-2, followed by Thomas Sorensen, Dan Skinner, Ivan Pinocchio, Yamantis Simonek, Rafael Draskas, Roberto Ferrari, and Enrico Musumeci will be starting in 9th and 10th, followed by Tony Pierman and Samuel Serrano in 12th place. Victor Lewandowski and Paul Hayden will be starting next to each other, followed by Ronan Veracek. And I can't even finish that right now, as we're going to immediately go into green flag racing. 5 red lights. Final race here today. Green. We got a stall card in the background. And contact great. Already. It was, Pan. The second round in a row that a stalled car and Pan hits them. That is so unfortunate right there. But racing off to the lead, Jens Goosens immediately looking down to the inside. Skinner in the background with Sorensen and Pinocchio shuffling with positions as well. Somebody going extremely wide, so 171 Numantis. And a big send into the back. That's Ivan Pinocchio getting into the back of, I believe that was Sorensen right there. And actually helped Sorensen a lot. It actually jumped him ahead of Simnex. So we might be sending us thank you note. Just a little hardly... strongly worded as Numantis taking a big wide line onto the outside. Rafael Draskas looking onto the outside right there. Going all the way to the left. They're going to go 3 wide in the background, heading into the first right-hander as Goosens and Cox are still leading this race. And everyone looking up to the inside right there. A little bit of brake lockup. It's extremely hard to lock up these brakes in these Mazdas, but I've seen these guys do it. They're pushing these cars all the way to 11 right now. And it's a massive, I would have to say, 19-car train down this back straight. You guys looking down to the inside right now. It's a 169 of Ivan Pinocchio. We saw him get already aggressive. He's got Skinner on his inside. Skinner with the draft, and Pinocchio lining up onto the inside. He's really looking for a send. Also, we got 2 cars up ahead looking for a send. Skinner sends up the block, but it's Cox sending it in on Goosens side by side for the lead of the pro race and Sorensen and Simonek. Going side by side and absolutely making a great move. And Goosen's falling away from Steve Cox right there. Cox leading the first lap as an AM driver. That is insane. And look at behind him, Pinocchio. I feel like he woke up as a racing driver today and doesn't care for anyone else.
No, I mean, that's always, you see Simonek going very wide there into turn one. He'll lose a lot of places coming up the hill. It's so tightly packed at the front, these pro drivers going too wide
they can't
into
get past
many
them.
of these corners. No, they just cannot. You know, and Pinocchio will, like I said, you know, you give him an opportunity, a little sniff of a tiny little gap, and he'll wedge that car into that gap. At the moment, you've got Cox and Goosens at the front, the two amateur drivers doing a very respectful job, as we see Sorensen and Skinner giving him a little shove coming down the end, and we got Drasiksak as well, just fighting over. So the pros behind these two amateurs in the front are all over each other. Skinner going up the inside.
Oh, massive crash! Massive crash in the background. Yamantis involved. Pyramid and Musumeci involved. 3-car involved. And there's Jay Walsh trying to get free of the carnage right there. But yeah, that was I think that was the pro driver of Musumeci. Opportunistic look down the inside. He was being blocked by the 175 right there. Really sent it into Yamantis. Innocent party and all that. They both were sending it into a corner that had a hole not big enough for two Mazdas right there. I know two Mazdas is not that big of a measurement, but that's how small that opportunity really was.
Yeah, and we obviously just seen that replay there. We just see Goosens obviously managed to get past Steve Cox for the front of the grid at the moment. So Goosens at the front, and we want to get away after we saw his very fast first race, but Steve Cox is coming back on him into turn number one, getting the inside. And
they're feeling racy right there. That's a big mistake. Here comes the 179. Oh my gosh, they're on the outside, they're on the inside, they're everywhere. Now it feels like Steve is being swarmed by bees right there, and he might have been looking in the mirrors like, that probably wasn't the smartest of moves. And you can just see the speed difference right there when you're fighting versus when you aren't. And that's why you don't usually fight heading into that corner, especially when you're leading a pack right there. And now there's a little bit of a gap. Goosens and Rafael. Rafael not attacking Goosens right there. He's going to wait to that straight, maybe line himself up to probably switch back him, or he's going to try to bump draft him and get him a little bit more clear of that pack behind him. Are we going to be seeing the bump draft?
No.
No.
He's going to go for it.
He's going to go for it.
He wants that amateur in between himself and the rest of the pros to hopefully hold them up a little bit, as we see Josizak getting the lead of this race. Goosens in second. Simonek not that far behind in third, but
Goosens still with him.
Yeah,
Goosens actually got some draft off of that. So the air getting pushed off right there affected Goosens as well. And, he just sets his car down the inside. He's not really giving spots to anybody else right there. He's not playing fair maiden right there, letting all these pros by and, taking it easy right there. He's really going to race it. Speaking of racing, 3 wide in the final corner. Roberto Ferrari getting a little bit aggressive. Round the outside, taking it off-road wide, pulling the Ferrari on the Ferrari. Hayden, hello. Oh, I've been wanting to say that for a while, ever since it happened.
I've got no doubts. So see Simonek going down the inside here. Goosens
Little contact.
Giving a little squeeze there on Goosens just to get him through. So Simonek managing to get up to second place, and Goosens up into third, with Cox managing to still stay in that fourth place. So the battle is very much on for this top place amateur between Goosens and Cox, but all the pros are now stacking it behind. You've got Sorensen, Skinner, Hayden, Ferrari, Pinocchio, all behind Steve Cox for fourth place. So fireworks will soon to be let off, I think.
I feel like they've already been let off, and we're just going to have 15 minutes of just absolutely nuts racing. And, I feel like we're seeing that right now. Some action already looking out. Paul Hayden looking to get past Skinner on his teammate right here. And I feel like they're just talking to each other, say, hey, who has the best run wins with this situation. He got out of the draft early, but now he has the draft, and, he let his teammate by right there. It was just not the smartest move to go immediately off the draft. And here comes Skinner looking down the inside. See if he can get an opportunistic move. He's got Sorensen taking a switchback right there. Speaking of switchback, Ferrari going back down the inside of Hayden, and Skinner He's going to try to make it into that final corner to squeeze it in there over the curb and puts the block pass on Skinner. We got a massive crash to back. Our Frederick Lewandowski involved, and I think Mantis involved as well. Healy. Healy 169 to okay. Healy went down the inside, came across the grass, and then yeah, it's the 169 to Moon's getting aggressive. The 282. Oh my God, let him down. He's already dead.
Just making sure that you're gonna be out this race here. I'll put it on the roof.
Yeah, it was you know, that's where he cut to the Simpsons meme. He's already dead. Oh, that is the worst feeling. You just feel like, I'm at the mercy of everyone else here. And, you know, just felt like you just got powerballed by all three drivers getting back onto the power. Just watch some YouTube replay right there. Oh my gosh. Walsh has had an issue. They've gone off the track. And also High Red has gone into the pit lane. Walsh, that's damage. Right side.
Car? Yeah, certainly a crabbing car there. But look at the timing tower there, Austin, all the way down from P17.
What is happening?
Race 3 carnage ensues.
Race 3 carnage. I don't think we're gonna get 10 cars in this train right here. I feel like it's just every man for himself out here, and oh my gosh, I love it. When did ARL Mazdas become Demolition Derby, and when did ARL Mazdas become Rallycross? Because Hayden is certainly driving it as Rallycross. It's the second outside the track limits pass he's done in the grass.
They're going cross-platform now, these MX-5s. They're branching into all realms of off-road racing, on-road racing, and any other
and Hayden getting bumped to the back by Pinocchio. Pinocchio not happy about that. And I think we're about to see this turn into an MMA fight very soon. Simon letting by McMullen right there. It's an odd move. He was taking that turn one a little bit tighter, but, you know, he's got a difference of speed right there. This car on the... Oh, that's Pan. Coming out of the pit lane, they took a fast repair. You know, we saw them get affected by that stall car, and off goes Hayden into the wall.
Wow. Okay, he completely got turn number 5 wrong there, I believe.
He got into the gravel, and you know, he was like, "I've been off track this entire time. I can do this again." And that's when Road Atlanta says, "No, you don't. No, stop. Get some help." And you can see that, and I feel like it's exactly as I'm going to say. Got to the he hit the inside curve, got onto the grass right there, upset the car, and then bam. But yeah, Paul was really pushing hard.
He was off many corners before that. You can see him snaking all the way up there to turn number 5 as we rejoin the battle here for...
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
well, this is the battle for third, and also the battle for the AM lead, as off goes Cox. He's missed the corner completely, trying to come out, and he's cut across the entire track and look down the inside. There is Skinner down to the inside. Goose is also down to the inside, trying to take the AM lead right there. Oh, Goose is made contact. Goose is Cox it. Gooses and Cox have taken each other out. Gooses is on his roof, and oh, misery right there. Steve Cox somehow survived that. That promotes McMullen back into the racing lead the second time today. And oh no. Well, it was the ashes of fire, and it was absolutely disastrous by Goosen's race 1. Rose like a phoenix, and then the ashes of rebirth crashes again and falls down from the lead. The Ants race to down into the pit lane, and might be having a barf bag after that. Oh my gosh.
I mean, that was some spin, and again, you got a feel for Goosen's, you know, first race was up at the front, got taken out. That race up at the front, and obviously his race has ended early, and oh wow, it's not good. But
what's happening in the race for the lead? I'm completely clocked out on what's happening for the race to win. It's exactly what's happening. Hey, do you like replays of race number 1? Because we're seeing it right here. Rafael and Simonak, I am not making this up. They're back in the fight for the lead, and they are 7. How did they get 7 seconds clear?
That is insane.
Oh my god.
I'm not surprised with the battling that these three are doing. You just saw there Skinner completely going over to the left-hand side of the track that he was on, right-hand side as we were looking at, to try and block off Pinocchio, trying to sneak that inside line. You know, these guys are compromising their lines. Look, we're seeing it again here. Skinner going really defensive on Pinocchio because he knows that Pinocchio gets a little sniff of the gaff here. He will take it. And managing to take Ferrari there. So Ferrari
Simonek, Simonek got off track right there, and he's lost a lot of ground to Rafael. I feel like he missed the turn 3 right there as, P3 is going through turn 3, and looking down the inside, a little bit of a netcode bump right there by Ferrari. Ferrari's been using that front bumper a lot. You can see the damage that he's out of the front. Oh, he can't rewind. That's Sorensen, and he's on 2 wheels and down to the inside. McMullen's going to overtake Sorensen. Very opportunistically, but I feel like McMullen's going to let him have that back on the straight. Right there, that is big late move. Ferrari looking down the inside, selling the dummy right there. Skinner not affected at all. He probably saw that in the mirror. Was like, whatever. If he takes me out, he takes me out.
I think McMullen's got the look of the Irish today with him. Obviously, his first race, getting that profitable amateur win, and at the moment in race number 3, he is leading the way in the AMS. Obviously, got Sereno on his tail, and Cox not that far behind. But he just had a relatively clean race in this race number 3, and just quite happily got
fell
up
into
in
his
the field.
lap.
P14, 14 positions. He has moved up in race number 3.
That is insane.
We haven't really talked about him making exceptional moves. He's just been consistent. Everyone else has just gone off.
He's minding his own business. Minding his own business. Everything falling into his lap right there. As this fight for 4th is turning into an absolute slot. Well, to fight for 3rd, really. Skinner, I thought he was clear of that. No, he's still in there. Sorensen goes into the pit lane. His car is done, I believe. Something that also happened to him, I believe. We saw, the push off the track by Pinocchio. That is going to get protested. I can guarantee it. He pushed him off way into turn 1 and off the track right there. Skinner is still going on, but hey, McMullen, look at the Irish, up in the 5th.
I mean, this Stewart is going to have the time of his life on this this track. I mean, if you
I feel like they're going to get overtime, I could guarantee it.
When we look at the timing time, everybody from P14 down is a lap down at the moment. I mean, that's 9 cars out.
We have cars stall at the start, contact at the start. We had cars crash into each other while there's 2 amateurs at the start. We had the amateur leaders take each other out. And then, yes.
Consistency is the name of the game. I mean, look at Damien.
Also, it's white flag. I completely forgot to mention that. No, it's not white flag. 2 laps ago. 2 laps ago. I jumped the gun. But Rafael, I feel like he wants it to be 1 lap more, 1 less lap, as we got the fight for 3rd place between Pinocchio and Ferrari. Pinocchio dives it up onto the inside. He's going to say, I want that lead of this pack right here, because McMullen is behind Ferrari. McMullen's off the track right there. And he gets that car recovered right there, and Skinner gets back down to the inside. Skinner being very aggressive. And then there's Serrano. We know we got the fight of the AM race win right here for race number 3. White flag in the air. All right. It's time to get wild.
You're gonna go into auctioneer mode now, mate, are you?
I don't know. I'm just ready for something to go crazily insane. This is a 6-car fight for the lead, but we see Pinocchio making that corner work for him right there. The fight for the lead is really spread out right there. So the fight that we're really watching is the fight for 3rd place. Ferrari does have that nose damage, so I'm really interested to see how he's going to tackle this draft attack right now, because he's going to be slower in a straight line. So he's getting back onto that bumper. Also, look at Skinner. Skinner's back there as well. Skinner and Ferrari on the charge for that 3rd spot. And Skinner, he's got some beef with Pinocchio after being pushed off the track right there last lap, and getting pushed down into the back of this pack and into P5. Well, here we go. Ferrari onto the back of Pinocchio. He is right with him. He's looking down to the inside right here. Skinner's got the draft as well, but here comes Ferrari and Pinocchio. They're going to be side by side heading into that back straight. Ferrari's got the lead even with that damaged car. Pinocchio's going to be able to get that position back with that outside line if he beats him on the breaking point right there. They both can be racing on the breaking point. Pinocchio, Ferrari side by side. Pinocchio later gets onto the brakes a little bit later than Ferrari. Ferrari cuts across the track. Pinocchio cuts across the track. They're both cutting the track. Skinner in the background passes Pinocchio. Karma and Ferrari takes 3rd place. Rafael takes his 2nd race win of the day. Pavel Simonek comes home in 2nd place, and Ferrari takes 3rd. Skinner comes home in 4th. Pinocchio comes in 5th, and Damien McMullen, luck of the Irish, 2nd amateur victory here today.
Yeah, and it was obviously that 2nd race that he was in as well. You know, he was in a good place. Unfortunately, as we saw, he had front right damage from an incident that put play to his 2nd race. But a great race 1 victory in the AMS.
Umantis is off the track. Umantis might have been. Oh yeah, he's finished.
He's finished, man. Yeah, cool.
Man, I was just like, hey, somebody gets a surprise top 10.
It's just from car 13
the carnage never
down,
ends.
like.
The carnage never ends. You know, we have people just racing each other right now. As Jens Gusens and Lewandowski, you know, these two are also fighting for a championship right now, so they're still fighting against each other side by side, heading into the final corner. Lewandowski and Gusens, horrible race won by Lewandowski, and horrible race 3. Well, they both had a bad race 1 and 3 right there, but Gusens with the switchback, absolutely well done right there. To get 16th place, and Lewandowski in 17th place. And Walsh takes a top 5 finish right there, with Nathan Healy taking 4th in the AM. Steve Cox takes 3rd. Serrano in 2nd, and McMullen with that AM victory. And I think that's the first time that Jay Walsh has gotten a class top 5.
Yeah, it definitely is, I think. But, you know, for the points in the AMS, it's certainly going to make it extremely interesting as well at the end, because Lewandowski was leading the championship, but didn't have the best of rounds there. And
no, I don't think anymore. I do not think anymore.
No.
Here's our race 3 results. Rafael takes the win, followed by Pavel Simonek, Roberto Ferrari, Dan Skinner, Ivan Pinocchio, David McMullen with that race winner. We'll be talking with him very shortly. Followed by Simon Serrano, Steve Cox, Enrico Musumeci, Arias Dumantis, Thomas Sorensen, Nathan Healy, Jay Walsh, Paul Hayden, Yves Frederick, Jens Gusens, Victor Lewandowski, Ronner Vrenner checked in 18th place. They're followed by Russ Fowler, Andrew Brahma, Pan Hyraid, and Tony Pierman and Ronald Moons at the end of our 23 car results. And standing by with us, well, we said he had the luck at the Irish today. He took race 1 amateur victory that pretty much fell into his lap. And then you can say the same thing for race number 3, when the 2 cars ahead of you, well, fell into your lap again. Damien, 2 AM victories. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay. Say it's look at the Irish, so I can take that any day of the week.
Oh, we're doing absolutely amazing. It was a show out there today.
Oh, God, I'm sweating here.
Well, walk us through. Okay, we don't want to talk about race 2, do we? Let's just talk about race 3.
That's in history. That's in history. I don't want to think about that
Okay.
anymore.
Let's talk about race number 3, because you went up. Let me take the note. 14 spots.
Yeah, I did it with Hamilton on it.
Irish Lewis Hamilton right here.
Definitely.
Well, what was your strategy right there? You know, there's a lot of carnage happening in front of you. You saw all that carnage happening. At that point, when you saw everyone fighting each other, were you just like, I'm just going to sit here, or I'm just going to mind my own business? Or were you actively racing for spots?
Oh, I was actively racing for spots, and I had this feeling that it was going to be elbows out for this race of all tracks. And I think it did come true that elbows were out and everyone was nearly pucking each other.
Yeah, there was a lot of elbows. I think we saw a few fists out there. I think somebody was trying to kick somebody in the face.
No.
Pretty sure in the pits, if this was a real race, this would turn into a Royal Rumble right now. I unfortunately had my radio on, so I heard a lot of what was going on the radio.
I had mine turned off anyway, so
Good.
I don't want to hear anyone talk.
I think you made the smart move, and I'm not smart. So, yeah.
Not good.
But
Not
2 wins for you, man. How
Yeah,
are
it
you?
is.
I know you're sweating after that, but I feel like this deserves some champagne. Absolutely, after that performance.
I wish I could have champagne, but unfortunately, I'm actually about to leave and go do a night shift from 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. So yeah, I'm going to be buzzing all night and work.
All right. Well, it's a great start to your night. Have fun at work, Damien. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
I just want to thank Free for running an absolute unreal championship, and to all my sponsors, and to all my family, and to everyone out there. Thank you.
And I'm certainly they're going to be proud for you. And, you know, if there was one race to just send, hey, this is what I do on my computer all day, they would be proud of that, because that was an absolutely unreal performance all the way to the end. Congrats on the wins today, Damien.
Thanks very much, Chad. See you next week.
See you too. You have a good night, man.
Bye, Andy.
See you later, Damon.
Andrew, I believe we have another driver with us.
I think we got your teammate actually, so I think I'll leave that one to you as well, because you know him very well, and it might be worth getting his take on it. So we've got, what have we? I don't know.
I tried moving them up there, but I was moved out. Well, we were joined by Panhydrate, who was, well, I believe for the first time racing in VR on iRacing.
Yeah, not for the first time ever, but for the first time since I was in rookies class, yeah.
It certainly was chaotic out there. I know you were affected by a stalled car in race 3 off the line, and in race 2 you had a giant crash in front of you. In race 1, you know, unlucky circumstances there. But you know, how are you finding yourself enjoying this car and the series?
I'm loving the series. Like, today was just chaotic. I wish I did better, but I'm still absolutely loving the series. And like I said, this is still my absolute favorite car of all time, so I'm still absolutely loving the car. Absolutely love the track. That's actually why I decided to race in VR, because they had the True Mazda Cup race a few days ago at this track, so I was like, I have to do this in VR then. But it was fun though. I'm still loving it. A little bit chaotic today, yeah, but that's racing. It happens. So, you know, just move on past that.
Yeah, next week we go to Hockenheim Ring. How are you feeling about that?
I'm not sure, because I have literally never been on Hockenheim. I've never been on it in any sim. It's one of the tracks I've been avoiding, because every time I just look at it, I'm just like, how in the world can I survive here? But I'm willing to put in extra time to practice it and make sure I do really, really well next time, and make sure to gain some points with the team. So.
All right, well, that's a good plan for next week. Before I let you go, Pan, anyone who want to thank?
Yeah, so all my friends and family, if you're watching, I want to thank my dad. I want to thank my stepmom T. I want to thank my brother Micah. I want to thank my friend J Rock. I want to thank my friend Virgil. Everybody at Let Paul Racing, thank you all for. I accidentally hit my mic. I'm sorry, but I want to thank you all for tuning in. Sorry I couldn't get a better result, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the love and support there. Love y'all. I want to thank y'all up here at Apex for putting on this amazing league for us. And I want to thank y'all personally for thank y'all the casters for being good to us and giving us the good show.
Yeah, thank you for always being positive, no matter what. Congrats on the congrats on a good race and fighting it out all the way to the end, Pan.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, and that was Pan Hydrate, and standing by with Andrew Thompson is Steve Cox.
Hi, Steve. Welcome to the commentary room. So, interesting couple of races there for you tonight. Obviously, fighting very hard for the amateur wins, and obviously having a real big battle with Goosens. How was it for you tonight?
Mixed, if I'm perfectly honest. I thought I could have done better than I did, but I had 2 seconds in the third in the AMs. I think that might have done me all right, but it was a bit disappointing in the last 2 races. I thought I could have done better, but 8th and 10th was all right, I suppose. But yeah, it's been quite a challenge tonight.
What's been the main thing? Is it being it's been an unusual race tonight where we had a lot of the amateur drivers mixed in with the pros. Normally, certainly for that race number 1, we normally see all the pros at the front and the amateurs stacked behind. But something changed tonight, and there was quite a lot of the amateurs mixed in with the pros at the start, which sort of evened the playing field in race number 1. Is that how you found out on track?
Yeah, it reminded me a bit like Spa, because we had that similar in Spa. We had Jens and I and we're up with those guys, and then I think today was quite similar. I think when you have a few of the pro guys starting on the pits, and you can this was a bit of a tow track as well. So I think if you hold off the back of them, that'll pull your lap time. You get at least a second and a half in your lap. So I think again it's been a little bit tactical, letting that faster car through, then trying to get it on that last chicane. I think tonight you might have seen a few people bang a few doors at the back by misjudging it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just watching you on stream actually. With the pass, you were trying to make over Goosens for the first place, and unfortunately get it slightly wrong round turn number 1 and end up in second, all the way down into like 4th, 5th place. I mean, it was just such a topsy-turvy race. I mean, to keep it on track, I think was well done. That third race, I think 10 cars actually lost, was a lap down. How are you keeping it sane out there and keeping it on track?
So with those places, I thought tactically, if I let him go and I drop down to 5th, I know if I can hold on to the faster guys, Gens might suffer similar fate to me. These guys are quicker and they'll overtake. Just hold on to the toe. It's just being tactical. I think it's picking your moves. I don't mind losing a place or two. I know I'm a bit far back in the standings, but won overall championships. Seeing I missed the first race, I just think it's boxing clever at times. Just don't pick your battles every corner. You just got to think of the long game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I'm just looking at where you are in the championship before this round, which was P8, and you weren't that far off the top 5 positions. So certainly having the race that you had tonight, and like you say, the tactical savvy to say, I know when to battle and when not to battle, certainly going to be closing that gap. And the amateur championship for this season is certainly heating up towards the last 2 rounds. And talking about the last 2 rounds, we got Hockenheim next round out. How are you feeling for that one?
Quietly confident. I quite like this Laguna Seca as the last one. I'm a bit conscious that I might have had a bad Bathurst that I probably haven't got enough to battle the top, but if I can aim for a top 5, I'll be happy with that.
Well, at the end of the day, you got nothing to lose, and as we saw there, the carnage that ensues in these races. Sometimes, you know, you could end up in 5th place, and then all of a sudden you're in 1st place in the AMs, and so it's easy to gain places if you keep it nice and smooth. And certainly you had a great day out. So thanks for joining us here, Steve, in the commentary box. Before we let you go, mate, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out
to? No, just congratulations on Apex on their news earlier in the week. It's great news.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for that, Steve, and good luck in Hockenheim in the last 2 rounds of the season.
Cheers, guys.
So, Austin, we've just had such an entertaining season so far, and we've still got another 2 rounds to go. I don't think your voice is going to take it. Luckily, you joined late, or else I don't think you would have a voice.
I feel like if I stayed on here for the entire season, didn't sign up, me and my entire team out there, I feel like I would be needing an iron lung right now, or just talking through a speak and spell. You'd just be hearing robot mode for a little bit. Something dangerous might be happening with my throat, but I gotta tell you, I'm smiling while I'm doing this. So if I have living calm, I should probably calm down. But you know what? I can't calm down because these drivers out here are just insane, and I'm loving every bit of it. And I'm pretty sure everybody watching is loving every bit of it as well. Well, next week we head to Hockenheim Ring, and I can tell you it's going to get even more crazy as well. Thank you all for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for another round of the ARL Mazda Cup. I've been joined by Andrew Thompson with Samuli Kumo in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.